We ingest 1 billion tweets a day just from Twitter. That's just the raw data we take every day from Twitter.
I mean, how do you go about doing that? Is it like a bot that's like you have an algorithm that's kind of going through Twitter and Discord and all these places to figure out what the sentiment is of a particular asset?
We have a number of different sources of sentiment. So with Twitter, we actually have the full API, so the full fire hose of data. We also look at TikTok data actually now. I think we're the first company ever to do that.
Nice.
We look at YouTube data, Reddit. We now look at 4chan data. The way that we kind of go about scoring sentiment is we ingest all of that data. In the case of Twitter, we ingest 1 billion tweets a day just from Twitter. That's just the raw data we take every day from Twitter. The first step and the most important step is to actually assess whether or not that information is relevant to a particular asset. And that may sound simple, but it really isn't. ETH was Ethereum, but it was the ticker of Ethan Allen until they changed it, right? And so you have all these avalanches of crypto, but it's a generic word. You could have an avalanche in Colorado,
right,
and that could be being talked about on Twitter. So our first step is actually to assess whether or not the information is relevant to a particular asset. The next step is to try to identify whether or not the account producing that particular, you're sharing their belief or their insight is actually a real account. I mean, one of the biggest challenges in crypto is bot activity, right?
Yes.
And in some cases, 90 to 95% of messages on a particular asset can be coming from bots. And so we basically have a proprietary natural language processor, and we score every single word in every message individually. So for example, if we see a message, Bitcoin to see surge in OTC trading volume after, we're in the Bahamas, the governor of the Bahamas announces that they're buying $1 billion. Let's just say that hypothetically happened. We'd score the word surge and buying positively. And what we do is we basically score every word in every message. And what we do is we normalize all the data on a per asset basis, which means we compare data on Bitcoin, for example, over the last hour versus the previous 24 hours. Because, for example, if you tried to compare how positive or negative investors were on Bitcoin to Dogecoin, that's really misleading because everyone's always going to be more positive on Dogecoin than they are on Bitcoin. And so what you do is you try to normalize the data on a per asset basis. So it's, are investors becoming increasingly more positive or increasingly more negative about a particular asset?
Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and be sure to tune in tomorrow.